As Israelis in Israel sat down to their Sabbath meal on Friday night, sirens sounded throughout central Israel as the Houthis fired yet another ballistic missile at Israel. After an investigation into the attack, the IDF announced the very disturbing news. Yemen is now using cluster bombs to attack Israel. Israel's Air Force responded swiftly by bombing Yemen's capital, including hitting the presidential palace. Meanwhile, the IDF is pushing into Gaza City as Hamas may now be begging for a ceasefire. I'm Josiah Hilton, and this is the Israel Guys. On Friday evening, I stepped outside my home here in Samaria, and I saw the Iron Dome deploy several missiles into the Israeli night sky. Now, as I looked for the incoming projectile, I saw a missile coming from the opposite direction, headed toward the Tel Aviv skyline. Now, the missile, this flare in the sky, all of a sudden disintegrated into several smaller pieces and then disappeared into the night sky. The report soon came in that Yemen had shot another ballistic missile at Israel, and I assumed that, like usual, the Iron Dome had intercepted it before it had impacted the ground. As it turns out, the Iron Dome did not intercept the missile due to a technical error. A piece of the missile indeed landed in the garden in the Moshav Ginaton, but thank God no one was injured. Then, the IDF launched an investigation into this failed intercept incident, and yesterday, they published the disturbing findings from the probe. The Houthis had launched a ballistic missile armed with a cluster bomb warhead. Now, this is the first time since the beginning of the war that Yemen has used this type of weapon against Israel. Using cluster munitions is a clear violation of international law and considered a war crime. Unfortunately, this kind of action from the evil terrorist group in Yemen is not surprising, as their funders and backers, the Iranians, also used cluster bombs in their 12-day war with Israel just earlier this summer. As the world continues to condemn Israel for the high number of civilians who have been killed in Gaza, falsely accusing them of war crimes, let's not forget that Israel is fighting against terrorist regimes that have absolutely no problem with committing actual war crimes whenever they want. In addition to the Houthis, who are committing war crimes now with these cluster bombs against Israel, not to mention targeting civilian populations over and over again, Hamas has also committed countless war crimes since they brutally attacked Israel on October 7th of 2023. Israel is in the midst of a very dangerous fight, fighting very dangerous enemies who, if not dealt with properly, will wreak havoc on thousands of more civilians across the Middle East, not just in Israel. Not even to mention carrying out their stated goal of ending the existence of Israel. Israel has already retaliated against Yemen, the Houthis in Yemen, with a fury. They bombed the Houthi-controlled capital of Sana'a. The IDF released a statement on the strike saying, struck multiple military targets belonging to the Houthi terrorist regime in Sana'a, Yemen, including a military site in which the presidency palace is located, the Adar and Hizaz power plants, and a site for storing fuel, all used for military activity of the Houthi regime. These strikes were carried out in response to repeated Houthi attacks on Israel with missiles and UAVs. The Houthis, backed by Iran, continue to exploit civilian infrastructure for terrorist purposes. Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, said in a statement on Sunday night, quote, "The Houthi terror regime is learning the hard way that it will pay and is paying a very heavy price for its aggression against the state of Israel. Anyone who attacks us, we attacked them. Anyone planning to attack us, we attack them. I believe the entire region is learning the power and the determination of the state of Israel." The defense minister also said, for every missile the Houthis launch at Israel, they will pay with compound interest. But it seems the Houthis never seem to learn. They continue to fire missile after missile at Israel, no matter the retaliation and devastation it causes to their own people and to their own country. Now, personally, I think when Israel finishes the war with Hamas and Gaza, that the Houthis will find out very quickly what kind of hellfire that Israel is capable of raining down on their heads. In a minute, I'm going to tell you why Hamas is now begging for a ceasefire. But first, I want to give you something practical you can do to support Israel. If you, like many people I know, love Israel and aren't able to make it over here to the Holy Land, or you are inspired by the Jewish families living out God's promises on the front lines of Israel, or if you simply want to walk out God's words to Abraham in Genesis 12 of blessing the nation of Israel, then you need to check out our friends over at Blessed by Israel. These guys bring the amazing products of families in the biblical heartland to people all around the world. From the land of Israel straight to your doorstep, you can enjoy awesome products like extra virgin olive oil, coffee roasted to perfection by Agro Cafe, which personally I absolutely love, and I happen to drink a cup every single day here at the office. You can get delicious raw honey, beautiful jewelry, organic spices, handcrafted ceramics, and much, much more. Check out their website, all from wonderful small family-owned businesses in Israel. You can be a part of encouraging and investing in the people of Israel and enjoy high-quality products at the same time. Head over to blessedbyisrael.com to purchase beautiful boutique products and make your impact today. If you use the code INVEST, you can get $5 off your first order at blessedbyisrael.com. Click that link down in the description below. Palestinians in Gaza reported nonstop explosions in the northern part of the Strip overnight Saturday. In preparation for the full military invasion of Gaza City, IDF warplanes pounded terror targets in the northern and eastern outskirts of Gaza City itself. The IDF said that troops of the 401st Armored Brigade returned to Jabalia in recent days, joining the already there Givati Infantry Brigade, which has been operating in that area just north of Gaza City for the past week. The troops are dismantling terrorist infrastructure, including destroying terror tunnels and obtaining operational control of the entire area. Israel is gearing up for their big push to obtain control of Gaza City, while Hamas, the terrorist organization of Hamas, is now begging for a ceasefire. Last week on the show, we talked about Hamas finally accepting the terms to a proposed deal right after Israel announced their intention to take over Gaza City. The problem is that the deal that Hamas is reportedly agreeing to is not the deal that Israel agreed to. This is an old proposition that Hamas stonewalled for months upon months as intermediaries frantically tried to create something that Hamas would accept. After months of Hamas rejecting every single proposal put forth by the intermediaries, Israel's leadership has recently made known that they are no longer interested in deals that only return some of the hostages. Israel has also threatened to obliterate Gaza City unless Hamas lays down their weapons and gives back all the hostages, all of them. Now, Hamas seems to be begging for a deal. It appears that they are regretting their mistake and not accepting a deal back in the spring when Israel was willing to make one that would see only some of the hostages come home. It kind of seems like Hamas is getting actually scared with Israel's upcoming invasion of Gaza City. And from what it appears, Israel is finally doing what they should have been doing all along. Instead of saying that they're willing to negotiate a ceasefire deal and get some of the hostages back, they are now threatening Hamas with the annihilation of Gaza City unless they surrender and return the hostages. Defense Minister Israel Katz said on Friday that, quote, "The gates of hell will soon open over Hamas murderers and rapists in Gaza until they agree to Israel's conditions for ending the war, primarily the release of the hostages and their disarmament. If Hamas doesn't capitulate, Gaza City will become like Rafah and Beit Hanun." For context, both of those cities are destroyed. While it is not certain that Israel won't agree to this horrible ceasefire deal that Hamas is now agreeing to, it certainly seems like they may be holding strong for once on the position of power over Hamas. Even President Trump is now seeing the truth of this position for Israel. On Friday, he said that he believes it would be safer for the hostages to try and free them by military pressure rather than pursuing a deal. He said, quote, "The situation has to end. It's extortion and it has to end. I actually think they're safer in many ways if you went in and you went in really fast," end quote. We can certainly pray that Israel will have the strength and fortitude to do what is right and to force Hamas into a surrender. To all you Zionists who are watching, keep standing with Israel, keep praying for Israel, and keep making your voice heard for truth. As always, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.